How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the TacomaBeast channel, where, as you all know, it's all about the taco. Today we're in Las Vegas for SEMA at the Toyota USA booth with Kurt. How's it going, man?
Good to see you.
Hey, good to see you too,
It's been a while.
What's behind us right now?
This is our Toyota Tacoma Overlanding concept.
And why is it in the Toyota USA booth?
Well, great question. We were fortunate to work with Toyota. We've done some previous projects with them, a lot of neat stuff over the years, but they approached us this year about setting up a Tacoma for overlanding use. And the whole idea was not to get so extravagant that it couldn't be like a realistic daily driver. So we really curated a lot of parts and worked with some wonderful manufacturers to build a Tacoma that had all the attributes of a great off-roader, that you could still drive to Central America if you wanted, or do up to Prudhoe Bay, but yet could still drive it every day to work and haul the family around.
That's incredible, man. How long did it take you guys to build this truck?
We really only had it for a couple of weeks. We worked, the biggest part supply issue was getting the parts, as you can imagine, like especially this year.
This year's
so that took a while to get all the parts, but once we had it, it was just a couple of weeks to get all built out, and we had a little bit of a deadline because then they were taking it to do a bunch of production work with it, a bunch of video and photography for SEMA, but then for some future upcoming stuff as well.
SEMA Crunch Week was insane.
Yeah, it was a SEMA Crunch Week, but that Crunch Week was actually like back in September because of all the production stuff that had to happen along the way.
So it's way back.
It happened, yeah. So then it was out of the way, and just excited to come see it again here.
Cool, man. Let's walk around.
Let's do.
What's for the rear bumper? What do you have on?
We'll start at the back. This is the Expedition 1 dual rear swing bumper. It's an amazing, really cool bumper with their latch system. So it's really nice and easy to walk up and open and close. So again, that was part of choosing parts and accessories that were really easy to use, not like big cam latches that are hard to get in and out of. If you're in a parking lot loading up groceries, it's just still easy to use. It has a full ARB drawer system in the back.
Nice.
So it's got the Outback drawer systems, full slides.
How do you like the ARB drawers?
It's nice. They're great drawers. I've been using them since they first came to the United States in some of my personal vehicles and Land Cruiser builds. I've had great luck with them. So it was a natural choice when this came up to say, like, that's a great system. It's got the drawers, but then if you look at the ARB system, it has a really nice fit kit that ties everything in nice and level. And that gives you, like, we call it like deep six storage in some of those other spots. That's where you can bury your spare parts, put the stuff that you don't get to that often, hide it away in those. And then you've got your drawers for your instant access. And they're loaded up in the back there too with recovery gear and compressor gear. It does have an ARB twin compressor mounted in the wheel well, so you've got air all the time. Fold down the tailgate, and there's a quick coupler right there, so you can air up tires after the trail, or even just put the blower on it and dust off your camping gear. How
do you like the deck system? A lot of people feel like it takes up a lot of space in the bed.
Well, and so does any drawer system. It does take up a lot of space in the bed, but my thought is I can actually fit more in there than I would have with that normal bed space, because you can really pack those drawers in tight. I'd say the same about the deck system.
Yeah.
We've used those on some builds and been around those a lot with customers and friends. They're cool as well.
Awesome, man. Let's work our way around here. What did you guys go for wheels and tires?
So it's got the Goodyear Wranglers. We worked with Goodyear and Michelin on those. It's a kind of a Toyota family brand. And then the Icon wheels, which are a great looking wheel, match the truck really well. Not an exact color match, but just the theme of the truck worked out really well.
It looks really nice. I love the tire size, nice and subtle, nothing too crazy.
And that was the whole thing. Didn't want to have to worry about necessarily re-gearing the truck, because that's not something that an everyday user wants to always embrace. And then also didn't want to have to worry about any rubbing or clearance issues. So we really worked to choose a tire size that complemented the suspension to not have much rub, not have to worry about trimming a whole lot of things, because it is a nice new truck and not every user wants to start cutting up their vehicle. I like to on my personal vehicles, but I understand that other people don't want to cut everything up.
And also miles per gallon, right? Like the bigger you go, eventually we start getting what I like to say smiles per gallon.
Exactly, yeah.
It just starts adding on.
There's a point of diminishing return with bigger tires. Yeah. It's great for the trails, but again, the whole idea is this is still something that's comfortable to drive every day, yet capable off-road.
Nice, man. What did you guys go with for the Overland bed rack?
So this is by Expedition 1. They're a Utah-based company. Same company that did the rear bumper. They also did the sliders and the skid plate. And this is called their Backy Mule Rack system. It's a really cool modular rack system. There's a lot of bed racks out there on the market. But this one just has a lot of modular options to it, to be able to put mounting systems on the side, tent systems, awning systems, or just to have it as a rack if you're not running a rooftop tent. So yeah, cool options.
Dude, I love how it looks. It's got such a slick look to it.
Yeah, and it's really robust. It's a super robust. You can see the bed flexing, not the rack. They're tough, they're proven. These guys have been around for a lot of years building a lot of really high quality accessories, so it's stuff that we know lasts.
Now with all this weight up here, what suspension did you go with, and leaf springs as well?
Yeah, so this is running a full Old Man Emu system. This is their Emu Dakar leaf springs, but it does have their BP51, which is their bypass suspension front and rear. So it's got fantastic suspension.
So let me ask you this, you built a ton of vehicles before, right?
Quite a few.
There's tons of suspension options out there. Why did you go with the BP51 as opposed to, like, let's say a King Shock? Or they're all great.
They're all great. That's the answer. There's some really good options out there.
Because of that.
Icon makes some fantastic suspension. King's got great stuff. I'm a big fan of the Old Man Emu, particularly the BP51 system. It's a bypass shock, so it's got 3-zone internal bypass. It's got adjustable rebound and compression, which is really nice to be able to dial in and tune a truck. But it also has like hard anodized bodies that hold up really well. And in Utah, that's a big thing with the road salts and the extremes we have. The BP51s hold up a lot better than some of the other high performance shocks do, just to the elements. We're not seeing these needing rebuilds on the same intervals we're seeing other performance shocks need them. And that's not a detractor from those other ones, because they're still high performance and all of them will need a rebuild eventually. That's why they're a rebuildable shock. But we're just seeing these last quite long. I have on a personal Land Cruiser some of the very first BP51s that came to the US, and 4 and 5 years out of a performance bypass shock, I'm pretty happy with that between rebuilds.
That's awesome, and thanks for the feedback. I really do appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries.
Let's go up here to the top. What rack is that?
This is ARB's brand new base rack system.
Way.
This was one of those parts that did take us a while to get, because ARB was still in production of these, hadn't even brought them to the US. So
they hadn't even brought them to the US.
Yeah, this is one of the first ones. They're now, should be here now. As I said, the build happened a little while ago, so the crunch happened. But yeah, really cool rack system. There's a lot of great racks out there on the market for Tacomas, and
I love it when companies come up with a new design.
Yeah, and
that's
new.
exactly what that is.
They've changed it. They're still using like a blade style mount, but it's not just the typical extrusion crossbars. This is actually a nice assembled rack, which is it's a great heavy duty rack. As with ARB, they have all the accessories you could need for fuel mounting. We've got the Max Trax mount on the other side, but you can put all sorts of accessories on them as well. So it just gives you a good base platform, as the name implies, for mounting whatever.
Wow, whatever you want.
Whatever you need on there. Yeah, so new offering. And that was another fun thing, is some of the other parts on here are newer to the market, so things that haven't been out or seen a whole lot.
I'm excited, man.
Yeah, choose some stuff you haven't seen a whole lot of.
Let's talk sliders. These are also, fairly new, right?
They are. They're also another Expedition 1 product. They've had them out for a little while, but it's not one of their kind of more well-known products, just because they're so busy with their bumper business, but they do build amazing, beautiful sliders as well. They're a nice, rigid, frame-mounted, robust slider.
It's just bolted on?
They bolt on, yeah. I'd have no problem putting those on rocks, and they're going to protect those rocker panels, and they're going to protect it before you do the damage, Yeah. People often put sliders on after they've already banged up their rockers. It's an expensive repair.
It's an insurance that you definitely want to get.
You got it.
Ahead of time. All right, Kurt, up here in the front, what do you guys got?
Yeah, went with an ARB winch bar. This is their Summit Series winch bar. Just a good all-around look, great frontal protection for animal strikes, off-road, but also the capability of carrying a nice winch, and this has got the Warn in there.
And this has been tested, right? Like it's
tested.
Been crash
Airbag
tested?
approved bumpers, that's a big thing for safety. If you're putting this on your everyday machine, or you got family driving in it, it's nice to know it's an airbag approved. There's a lot of great bumpers out there. It's all about aesthetics and what you want, but it's hard to beat an ARB because you just know it's gonna work and you know it's airbag approved.
I agree, man. Now, with you going with everything ARB, you went with the lights as well?
It's got the ARB Solus lights, the Intensity Solus lights. That's also an ARB light bar
wow,
that
that's slick.
offering
you can
for their
barely
rack
see
system.
that up there. That's
crazy.
Yeah,
that's what's so cool about it. It puts it on the exact same level as that ARB base rack.
Dude, if you would have not pointed it out, I would have never seen it.
And it puts off a lot of light. It's as you know, LED technology is getting pretty amazing. That kicks out a lot of light, as do the intensities.
That's awesome, man. Have you done anything to the engine?
No, kept everything drivetrain for the most part very stock. This does have the ARB Linx system in it as well.
Oh, that's
so everything's controlled via the
straight
ARB
from your phone,
touchscreen.
right?
Exactly. It's the ARB's proprietary screen that's mounted on the inside. It's actually really cool. You got to look at it. I insist you see it.
But you can also control that through the phone, right?
You could. It's the way it's set up. We're going to set off an alarm here. The way it's set up
oh my God.
is all through their little proprietary. So you pop down your glass holder, and then all your touch screens are right there. So lights, compressor, that handles all of it. The cool thing about the Linx is it has the if-and technology, if you will. So you can quickly hold down a button and say, when I turn on my high beams, I want this bad boy and those bad boys on. But then you get back on the road and you say, nope, I just only want my high beams. You can reconfigure it just with quick touch buttons to tell it how to turn things on and off.
One thing that I love about it is you're able to control the PSI from it as well, right?
You can. You can put a pressure control system, and that will, it's not a CTIS, so it's not like actively airing them up, airing down. You still got to hook your hose up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it lets you just hook one hose up, punch in the PSI you want, and you're sipping on your coffee while your buddies are kneeling down in the mud, airing their tires up and rechecking their pressure. So it does have some cool options.
Well, dude, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for the opportunity.
If you could give the viewers advice, they're just starting out their build, they just bought the Tacoma, what advice would it be?
Fill up the gas tank, go use it, and decide what you really need. Don't get so hung up with a checklist of the things you're told you have to do to your Tacoma before you go have an adventure. Start using it when it's brand new, when it's stock. They're amazingly capable trucks, and then add those accessories that truly make your trip that much better. Because they are, like, we love parts, we love gear because it does make them fun to use and it's fun to accessorize, but don't not use your vehicle because you don't have those yet. Those are invisible roadblocks people put in there all too often.
That's awesome, man. That's great advice. Thank you so much for your time. Guys, that about wraps it up for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to smash that like button. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure to do so, and we'll see you in the next video.